Well, hello everybody, welcome back to Robert's Train Set, and continuing with episode 3 of the new O-gauge end-to-end build. And I thought I'd start this episode where we left off with the last one, which was showing you these two boxes. And I think to start with, let's unwrap these and take them out of the packaging. So I'll turn them round so you can sort of see what we're talking about. And interestingly, this one is upside down compared to the writing on the box, which is a bit weird, but there we are. So let's have a closer look at these, shall we? Really, to please help save a railway, as you saw in the thumbnail. I had never heard of this railway until it was put into a YouTube video. And if you want to see more on this marvellous railway, please go to YouTube and just put in the David Clarke Model Railway, Clarke with an E, and you'll see a welter of information on this model railway. Now you might notice that around me I have my model railway up in the loft running, my roundy, and that model railway is approximately 10 foot long by 4 foot wide. But I worked out that if I look at my list, the David Clarke Railway is 16 times bigger than this, and it is a unique railway. It is run like a railway. It has a signal box with interlocking levers, just as the real railways did in the past. And with modern signalling now changing to computers and whatever, this will be a record in the future of how it all worked in a miniature way. It was a marvellous thing to do. And David Clarke not only did this model railway, but he helped with a full-size railway as well by investing. So please look at what's in YouTube. Either make your own video about it if you can, and if not, you can email the trustees of where this model railway is, which is, the trains I've got running on this layout today up in the loft is a Ginty, a Fowler 4F, commonly known as a Ginty. And this is my newest loco in 00, and it's running relatively well. And behind it is some Clarke Railworks quad-arm carriages. And this set is preserved at the North Norfolk Railway, and people have put time and effort into restoring it. We really need to have the same commitment for this railway of the same sort of name. On the middle line is a train comprising of Mark I maroon carriages, and they've been hauled by the Mayflower, a B1 locomotive, and this locomotive is run and owned by an individual who committed to getting it up and running, and I've been on a train hauled by this locomotive. There is loads of nostalgia about railways, and this charity could certainly tap into that and make money, absolutely, which is for them the name of the game. So this is the first one, and that's what I bought. And we'll have a look, shall we? See if I can get the box open. So I've been waiting and waiting to open these, and it's taken 3 lots of videos before I get to do it. So there we are. Now look, interestingly, unlike the locomotives, these are actually in the blister packs. So there we are, and there she is. Yeah, pretty good. Painted inside. Yes, there's a lot of detail there, isn't there? Now with these, unlike the logos, we only get linked couplings, not the ones that you can do up, sort of thing. Not that you can, but that look like they do. And that one's just come off, so it's just on the hook. So there seems to be a little detent that stops them coming off too easy, I think. Yeah, so it's different. So we'll have to see how we get coupling that up. And I've got a new way of coupling and uncoupling these, so I'll show you that in a minute. So let's get the other one out. And guess what I just found in the box? That. And yes, it's off the end there, isn't it? Does it just push in? No, I think that'll need gluing somehow. So disappointing. And there's one missing off the other end as well. Oh dear. And that I can't see. Hang on, I'll have a closer look. So we've got that one. Oh, and the chain's come off again. Oh, not a very good start, is it? And the other thing I notice is it seems to be a bit wobbly on a flat surface, which doesn't bode too well, does it? That's probably because the wheel wasn't in the hole. That's better. Okay, so that is rather disappointing. Have a closer look. No, we've got the other one. There it is. So, yeah, not impressed. Anyway, let's have a look at the other one and see if that's better, shall we? And this is what this one is. So, yeah. So, I think being this colour, I think it means it's braked, doesn't it? Vacuum braked, which is maybe why the different couplings are on it, as opposed to the other wagon, which is probably unbraked. So, yes, as I said, it's upside down in the box, which makes you think it's been taken out and put back in again, doesn't it? So, yeah, so let's have a go at getting this one out. About the other end. Yeah. The way these are the boxes unwrapping makes me think they have been unwrapped before. So, see if we can get this out. Yes, we can. Okay, so in the wrapping, it's got all the buffers on. Good. And the couplings. So let's unwrap it. And this one, unlike the coal wagon, has got a bit of the old nice plastic coating. And yeah. Oh, and the lid comes off. Oh, look at that. That is just sitting on there. No magnetic touches, nothing. Just whoop, and it's off. Which, to be honest, you know, with the auto coach over there, you are supposed to be able to take the roof off of that, and I've tried and can't do it. So this one strangely, has now this one strangely does have the adjustable couplings, look, like we get on the loco. And yeah, looks detailed enough, I think. The undercarriage is nice. The brake lever, does it actually move? Certainly looks like it might, but maybe not. Don't want to break it, do we? Yes, it does look as though it might. Probably need some tweezers if we're going to do that. I'm assuming it doesn't actually break the wagon. It'd be good if it does. So yeah, okay, so we'll see how they run. Let's see if this one is flat. Yeah, that one seems to work. There's a little rock in it, but the wheels are going round, so I'm assuming they're in. So there we are. Let's get them on the track. So we now have both of these wagons on the rails. The box van went straight on the rails, but the open coal wagon went via the workshops and had its buffers stuck on again. Which was easy enough, and obviously being O gauge, the components were a lot bigger, so you know you don't keep dropping them and whatever, you can see them and hold them easily. The major thing with gluing them back was obviously not to gum up the springs so that they still work, because they do really need to work on these. So as you can see, I've coupled these two up with the chain rather than the link coupling. And if we just pan very slowly over to the auto coach, I've been flummoxed again, because putting these chains on with the tweezers, you know, I'm honest, it's a bit of a pain, I must admit, and I can see why lots of modelers use auto couplings, whichever variety that they choose. And I may well do that, I don't know yet, but at the moment we're just doing the basics. So what I thought was, what if we got a long stick and stuck one of those small magnets that I used on the other railway for repelling the couplings, if you remember, and would that actually attract them? And on the auto coach, yes it does, as you can see, and it's fairly easy to just drop that over the hook. Works also on the locos, so I thought great, so I tried to do it with this one, and I'll move the camera a little bit. So as you can see, we've got the coupling on the end of this coal coke wagon, and I thought great, I'll just do that. But no, they don't work. So they're either made of plastic, which I would hope not, or aluminium of some sort, a bit like the Bachmann hooks, as opposed to other people's hooks that are magnetic. So yeah, back to the tweezers for these, I'm afraid. And if I just slide these forward, not that you can see it, but maybe you can on this one. Let's go to there. So even the ones here, you know, they're different to the ones on the auto coach. So a bit of a pain, but never mind. So with the 09 shunter coupled up to these couple of wagons, which I did use the coupling on the loco with the magnetic tipped pole. Let's give them a little run up the layout. So first of all, change the point, which I have, and let's make a move. Okay, it's something new I've learnt here. I have the logo I have the loco pointing from this end towards the window and the doors out to the patio. And I thought, well, it's going to go forward, which is what I did. But when you do that, it goes backwards. So with the DC, you have to sort of think which way you've pointed it on the track. So let's now start it off in reverse, which I find really strange. So let's go very slowly, or maybe not quite that slow. Now this is nearly 30%. Let's see if we make it over the points. Passing the signal. And I better think about stopping it, hadn't I? And this is what I'm really loving about DC. It's so controllable, it really is. So let's go forwards and put it back in the siding, shall we? And although this 09 is fairly noisy, it's actually you could think it's its motor to a certain extent, so I don't really mind. Ultra silent would look weird, wouldn't it? So yes, these seem to be working quite well. And again, I better slow it down and stop it. There we are. So yeah, they look good. So looking at this, I could probably get another couple of wagons behind this and still have enough length, hopefully, and definitely on the straight bit. So here we are. Quite happy I am. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this run. It's disappointing that the coal wagon was in the state that it was when it was delivered, but all easily fixed. And what we're going to do now is open some more parcels. And although this isn't a political channel, and I've never done a political statement in the 8 years nearly that I've been going, there is a bit of political in this. I've decided that with the country's balance of payments being in such a dire state, and with the November budget fast arriving, I don't see how the Chancellor can balance the books without hitting all of us. And although they all said they wouldn't raise normal taxes, I think they probably will. And one of those could be VAT, currently at 20%. I'm sure if it was raised to another 5%, it would raise an awful lot of money, especially when you're buying O-gauge items. So what I'm trying to do is to get as much of the stuff that I think I'm going to need now. And I'm sure some will disagree, but I think when you have a railway of whatever gauge, it's nice to have more than one train or engine to run on it. And this one behind me, when it's built, is no exception. So I am trying to find some reasonable bargains in O gauge to place on this railway. So the first thing I did was I ordered a few days ago from I believe TMC some items which I'll unwrap in a minute, but first of all I have a white paper bag, and if I can reach it, a nice invoice. And if you remember, I bought a Hunslet recently, didn't I, for 00. and it didn't perform very well, and I had a Stay Alive fitted in it by Kevin at Coastal DCC. Well, in the same building, and really they're both the same, because he actually did serve me when I went to get this. Orwell Model Railways Limited, and they actually do, you know, components for railways. So in this bag, I'll show you in a minute, but the major part of it was this. When I get it in there, you can see it. And I'm not kidding, O-gauge track is enormous. So having a look at the layout that I did in the last episode, which I am pretty certain I'm going to use, I worked out the actual list of components that I've got here somewhere. Here it is. So if you remember, it was like that, and I printed it out so that I've got a record of what I'm doing. And there's a list of components. Now, some of it I've got, some of it's on here, which is good. And I think the only bit I probably won't use is the curve, the set curve. At least that's what I think. Yes, it's not on here. So yeah. And if you're wondering why there's two lists, the one at the bottom shows you the lengths you need to cut them, which is helpful. So I worked out, or rather they worked out, that you need to buy 5 lengths of the Flexi 914mm track in the bullhead, and that is wood sleepers, not concrete, because this isn't going to be the mainline station, is it? But it says a minimum number of units, maybe 4. Well, I've hedged the bets and I've bought 6. And just to give you an idea of the costs in this, they actually added up to about £62 for the 6 lengths, which in a way, you know, how many double O's would you get in this? You know, you'd certainly get 2 in to make it the same sort of size. But we can pick up Pico and Hornby metre lengths of double O quite cheaply, really, if you think about it. And while I was there, because I did actually go and collect this, because it's about a 50-mile round trip. Now you might think, you know, it would have been cheaper to send it. Well, my car does 50 to the gallon about, so it's a gallon of fuel. Which what is it at the moment? £6. They wanted £8 to deliver all this lot, and that was just the track, because I didn't order anything else at the time on the website. It's a weird thing. You don't actually pay for it. You just say you're going to go and collect it, and then they will send you a message. Not that they did, but they will send you a message when it's in. So I asked why, and apparently it's just to check that they have got what you've asked for. So yeah, great fun. So in the end I rang them up and asked, because I wanted to go on a particular day. So I went and collected it. And looking at some of the information I got with this set, and also with the book that I got, the very nice book, which I am working my way through reading it, it does indicate that you need other things for the points to make them work. I wouldn't say need it, but to work better, which I think might be worth. So in here, if you can see, it's a lot of little bits that will help do that. Also some wire, which might come in handy. But yes, one of those, if you can see it. Now, apparently this is a micro switch, and with the housing that you buy, and this, bearing in mind, is all separate. If I can find it, it should be in somewhere. There we are. A micro switch housing, This connects onto the point, and it uses the tie bar to switch the micro switch, and that alters the polarity to the frogs. So yeah, that's what I bought. And also you obviously need some rail joiners, because like double O you don't get any with the length of flexible track, and somewhere in here should be some of those, which are nylon insulated ones, because you need to isolate some of this. Now I need these to get that point that is on the railway here that feeds both rails, to not do that, which is what we need. Anyway, so that's what I've got there. And it is all beginning to add up, I must admit. So let's clear the decks a bit and we'll have a look at the box that I've got, shall we? So here's the box, and I have got my mug of tea, which I'm enjoying. And I've noticed one thing about O-Gauge: all the boxes that come from the various suppliers are always huge, and this one is no exception. That's lovely. So let's have a go at getting into this, shall we? And I've been waiting and waiting to open this. Yes. It looks very much as though this was a much bigger box that has been actually cut down. So what have we got? So I think first and foremost we've got some more wagons. So they are actually both the same. I hope you can see that, but we will have a closer look. And snap, another one. I hope you can read, but again we'll have a look. And the eagle-eyed of you may have spotted that I rather stupidly have ordered the same van twice, which isn't a good idea, is it? But never mind, it's Robert's train set after all. Right, I've finished my tea, so that's nice. Helps the talking. So, wagons and cars. So I bought a collection. It's a nice Ford Anglia there, which I've actually never owned a Ford Anglia. I've owned a few Fords, but never a Ford Anglia. And has it got any information on it? It's an Oxford die-cast one, and they are a little bit pricier than the double O's. This I think was about £17, which seems an awful lot of money for a model car, but there we are. That was cheap. I've also bought a VW drop wagon. Now I have a reason for this, because I didn't drive the open thing, but I did drive the van like this for my works when I was younger, which I enjoyed. It was a nice van, so I thought I'd get that, and that's about the same price. And then we can't have the layout without a Ford Fiesta, can we? I mean, it's a real shame that it's now not made, obviously not in this iteration, but yeah. And again, £17. And that's about it on cars, I think. So the next bit was, I did mention in the last one, I think, about tail lamps, didn't I? So I bought some of these tail lamps from, I think it's Rusty Rails. Yeah, I've got to paint them. I suppose some of them need to be red, don't they? And some need to be white to go wherever they're going to go. So, not too bad. Yep. Right, next. I did say, didn't I, that we need the signal for the trains to be able to stop when I want to start filming. So there we are. There's an O-Gauge working daypole signal. bit like I've got upstairs, only a little bit bigger. Now, this is the arm rises rather than drops, and yes, I'm sure some of you people will say, well, you've got a good lot of GWR stock on, and I'm going to get even more later on. But this could equally be, you know, a heritage line, so you would get different liveries running, wouldn't you? So that's that. So I've got to try and fit that. Now, the reason I bought this is I need to see how deep to make the framework to take it. So I'm hoping it won't be too deep, and that's all we actually need, but I've got a feeling maybe that fits on the back. We'll have to have a look. So there's another video. Sorry. And finally, the crossing I needed. So this is a Y point, as you can see, and it's electrofrog. So again, I will need to probably isolate. And this one, and that's why the big box is, as you can see, a double slip. Now, you might say, yes, it's a very expensive point to buy, and it is. On Pico's website, this is £170 to buy. But I did manage to find it at TMC for under 130, which was the cheapest I could see. What I'm tending to do with this O gauge, it's so expensive, you really need to look to see to get the best deal you can. So I tend to just put in the individual item I want, and then in Google, and then see what comes up. So it'd be nice to see what this is like and what information I get with it. But that's why I bought all those little bits in the white bag. So there we are. It's all empty, peoples. That's the lot. So come back to me in a minute. All right. So having seen that lot, I think I'm going to bring this video to the end for this particular episode. But just to do a little bit more, the little Fiesta that we bought in 143 scale, which is O gauge. I just rather wonder if those cars I said that were O gauge aren't. I mean, I haven't actually got them out yet, but this 5-door white car is, looking at it, about the same length as the Fiesta, so I can't see that that would be right. And the other silver car, which is that one, when you compare it to the Anglia, yeah, I had my doubts. That is actually shorter. Now, yes, it is a 2-door car, but I think they're a lot bigger than an Anglia was. So I don't know what scale they are, but they seem too big for 00. And there isn't really a gauge in between, is there? So I don't quite know. If anybody knows, please let me know. So, and the other thing I was quite intrigued to have a look at is this double slip, because I've never had a double slip before. I mean, I do believe they can give trouble. I'm hoping in this bigger gauge it will be more reliable. So yes, you know, you've got the switch plates that you do, and obviously the other end as well. I'll be teaching my grandmother to suck eggs, but we do seem to have an awful lot of coiled up wire on this. So hopefully the instruction sheet that's come with it will explain all. So I do need to do a bit more reading, don't I? But you can see, I hope, don't know if you can, if I put my finger by it, where my little finger is, if I've got it in shot, are these little switches that I've bought. So we'll have to see how it works, won't we? But this, although it's huge, as you can see, saves a lot of space. It's worth having. To do 2 points like I have on the 00 would be in a massive amount of space just to do that, which is why there's no way I'm going to have a run around on this. You just can't do it on this size. Now I am determined to just use what I've got here, albeit with that extension at the end with the door open, and I'm really looking forward to doing it, to be honest. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please watch for the next episode when I might do a bit on the other wagons I've bought that you've just seen. Also some new stuff coming that I've already ordered today. This is Sunday the 1st of November, so that's yet to come. And what I want to do is I have some adjustable tables in the shed, which I've used before. I think you've seen them, the black ones. I'm going to bring them in here and lay them end to end. I'm going to take the non-slip mat that I've got here, which is the shape of this top, lay it on top of it, and then try and put these together. Because if I need to just tweak the baseboard a bit, I'd rather do it now before I actually order it and start making it. So there we are. Yes, I'm rambling on. I am very sorry, but yeah, look out for the next one. And please do have a look at this railway that we're trying to save. I truly believe it should be saved. And the more people that either make a video on it or comment to the trustees, I'm sure it will hopefully have an effect, because this railway really cannot be lost. It is unique. Bye everybody.